Hi, I'm Rex Carden with the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and I want to show you a way to organize your scripts using the Eclipse scripting API in a way that allows you to have both standalone apps and Eclipse script apps all within the same package. And what this allows you to do is to have your various apps in folders that are separated, and it makes it a lot cleaner. And it also allows you to change your applications on the fly while people are still using them. So if you have any applications that the whole department is using and maybe they're on Citrix and they're tying down, you might have already figured out that Eclipse will hold on to DLLs until someone closes out of the Eclipse instance. You can now change your apps in real time if you wanted to fix something or make a new feature release while the clinic is still running. All right, so let me show you how to do it. So I'm in Visual Studio, and I'm going to make a new WPF project. Nothing special about it. I'm going to call it Combo. Combo meaning it's both a standalone and a script can be called from the scripting API. All right, so when this thing loads up, oh, I got to make some references. I'm going to add a reference to our VMS stuff. So I need the types and the API. This is the standard way that you make a Eclipse scripting API app. So when this first window opens up, I'm going to make a method called call sappy. Let me zoom in so you can see. And in here, I'm going to make my application VMS, TPS, common, model, arg, API, application. Ugh, what a long namespace. Create application. And I'm going to put null null, so I have to do it when I log in. I'm going to make a message. Let's say this. Let's say hello user from the standalone app. And then we'll put the current user.id, plug that into that message. We'll make a message box and we're going to show that message. And then of course we need to dispose of the app or it will crash. Alright, squigglies are gone. It looks like it's going to work. Let me test out and make sure we've got a good solid standalone application. Hello, this is my username from the standalone app. Okay, so this is a completely useless standalone app, except for that it does expose my username. But other than that, it does seem to be working okay. All right, so now how can we turn this into something that can be called from Eclipse as well? Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to make a class, and this class can be named anything, but I am going to call it XScript. This reminds me that it's kind of a hacked version of what would normally be there. So I'm going to do VMS TPS. This is unnecessary, but I'm doing it because just for that's how I like it. All right, I'm going to call it XScript, and it needs to inherit from this Marshall by ref object. And basically, I've emulated what the call, what that Eclipse wants to see. It's an execute method. It takes a script context and a window variable. And what we're going to do is from another piece of code outside of this application, we're going to slingshot the script context and the window from Eclipse into this application, and it's going to consume it. So I'm going to prove it to you because I'm going to use the context. I'm going to grab the user ID from the context, and I'm going to show you it's going to say hello from the Eclipse script call. Okay. Again, we are not going to call this application directly. We are going to call it through a relay, and that allows this application to be contained in a folder wherever you want it to be. and we're going to make a very simple script file. So let's do that now. Let's see. Let's just make a text file. And I'm just going to copy and paste this stuff. I'll explain it in a second. Let me save it to my desktop. I'm going to call this combo relay.cs just to tell you that it's a relay. Okay, so this is what Eclipse is expecting. It's expecting a script class inside this namespace. It's got to have an empty constructor, and then it's going to have this public method where Eclipse is going to pass in a script context and a window variable, and then you're supposed to run your app right here. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to slingshot these variables out, and we're going to slingshot them over to our standalone application, which is going to consume it. And this allows you to, like I said, to organize your applications very cleanly, and it also allows you to change out where the slingshot is pointing to. So right now it's not pointing to anything. Let's go ahead and let's open up our combo app we just made. I'm going to hold the Shift key, right-click, and say Copy as Path. I'm going to put it right in here. So this is the path to my little standalone app that I made. And notice it's pointing to an exe. It's not pointing to a DLL. So we're going to load that assembly using the unsafe load. And we are going to create an instance of our script class, the one that's VMS TPS X script. Remember, we made this special script class inside our standalone app, and it's designed to catch the relay. We're going to unwrap it, and then we're going to call a method, the execute method that we made. Now, the class doesn't have to be called xscript, and the method doesn't have to be called execute, but I'm just mirroring what Eclipse wants to see. That way, it's not confusing to me when I go back to it. Anyway, you don't have to memorize all this. I'm going to post this code to Oncopere, so you can just copy and paste it and modify it to suit your needs. But anyway, I copied this CS file to the desktop. And so now, if we go into Eclipse, let me refresh that. I'm going to call the combo relay. I'm going to press run. I forgot to build the application after I made that xscript class. So be sure to build it, build solution, and make sure that gets compiled into that exe file. That's why it couldn't find that class when it was looking. I was thinking about cutting that out, but I wanted to, I like to expose the errors as I'm coding so you can see that's very normal and there's an easy solution to it. Okay, anyway, so I built it, I rebuilt it. I had to close Eclipse because it locked that exe. So I'm going to go to scripts, console, combo relay, or run. And now the relay, that little piece of code, is going to slingshot the script context. I'm proving it right here. And that standalone application is grabbing it, the xscript class from the standalone, and it is running this. So you could think you could launch the same window. I could call that main window if I wanted to. And just inject this script context right into it. Okay, so this is a cool way. It also kind of serves as a bootstrapping technique because now you can debug an Eclipse script from basically with the same mechanism as you would do a standalone. So it's pretty slick. It's also very clean. So thanks for listening, and hopefully this helps you out as you're coding.